Hello, my name is Dr. Bryce Johnston. I'm a chiropractor. I run a clinic in Clarence, Missouri called Nemo Chiropractic, and I wanted to present on the proper progression of strength and conditioning for the young athlete. Just a little background before we begin. I grew up in Northeast Missouri, a small town called Clarence where I practice at now. And growing up, I loved sports. Everything I did involved sports, and I did everything I could growing up to be better at sports. When I was in high school, I went to South Shelby High School, where I was blessed enough to have the opportunity to win a state title and to be a part of a bunch of good teams. I was a three-sport athlete: football, basketball, and baseball. I went to college at Northwest Missouri State, where I was blessed enough to win a national title my senior year. A week after my last game, I started the doctorate program at Cleveland University to become a chiropractor. And during my time there, I got my CSCS, a Certified Strength and Conditioning Specialist, to help young athletes on their pursuit to become better. So what I learned during that whole process of high school and college sports and my doctorate program is that you need guidance as a young athlete. I kept saying this growing up. I wish I would have known that. I really like the concept of mobile, stable, strong. I believe when I was a young athlete, if somebody would have pulled me aside about sixth grade and taught me mobility exercises and stability exercises, I could have been stronger and more athletic in the process. You need to learn how to train before you train. This is basically if you don't know how to lift and you go in and try and lift, it's like building a house on a bad foundation. You will have problems in the future. So you definitely need to learn how to lift. And that's not going to take just a presentation on it. It has to be drilled and you have to be critiqued while you lift. Don't mistake movement with progress. Train smarter. Can you work out and get worse? The answer is yes. Some of the instances where that actually happens is not training with enough intensity and not taking care of yourself and leading to injury. So you need to be coached up on that. You need a game plan. So the first place I like to start with any young athlete is to figure out their goals and what they want to accomplish. So I like to do that during with the 5 buckets of leadership. So the first point is vision. What do you want to accomplish? Where do you want your athletic career to go? This needs to be compelling enough to be motivating. You need a why factor. Then you need to engage your talent. What talents do I need to develop to get there? What type of talent do I need around me? These are the reasons that people get personal trainers. These are the reasons that people get on traveling teams to develop their skill set. So you need to start evaluating that. Execute strategy. What's the plan? How are we going to accomplish this? This is where you develop short-term goals. Maybe you need to get faster. Maybe you need to get stronger. Maybe you need to get quicker. Maybe you need to develop your skill set, different things like that. You need to measure results along the way. How is the plan going? During any type of training regimen, you need to be able to monitor your progress during the actual training sessions to see how everything is going. And at the end of it, you need to be able to adapt and fix it if the plan isn't working. So you need to ask yourself during all of it, is the plan working? If not, what do we need to do to change? Successful people are able to adapt and fix quickly. Why aren't you on the right track? You need to do a root cause analysis. You need to hold yourself accountable for whatever it may be. So I use this in my office all the time. This is for anything to get from point A to point B. So my vision is to be an elite chiropractor and to be a primary care physician for natural health care, anything from low back pain to preventing diabetes. What talents do I need to develop to get there? I need, well, start back. My why factor. My why factor has always been my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I need to engage my talent. What talent do I need to develop to get there? I need to be able to interpret labs. I need to be able to do a workup just like any other practitioner, and I need to develop my hands and my actual skill set there. So, what's the plan? How are we going to accomplish this? This is what I talk with the patient. Usually, the short-term goals are usually the goals of the patient bringing them into me. Measure results. How is the plan going? We monitor that every visit, and then we adapt and fix if the plan is or isn't working. So, is the plan working? Stick to it. If not, what do we need to change? Goals for the summer. So we need to set some goals before we start training, which need to be stronger. Weight room numbers need to be higher. You need to be faster, 40, 100. Explosive vertical leap, pro agility, get better your skill set, prevent injury, mobile, stable, out of pain. I believe that a lot of young athletes do the first four, but not the last one, which is very, very important. So I have two different training regimens. The first one I'm going to provide is a speed and agility camp. This involves resistant bands. This is 2 times a week for 6 weeks at South Shelby High School. It's going to start June 3rd and go through July 18th. You're going to have a week off on the 4th of July. And we're going to go 2 times a week, Tuesday and Thursday from 7:45 to 9 o'clock. And it's $25 per session. It's $300 total. And if you're a coach of a team and you need help doing conditioning with your team, call in and we'll ask about the price, the bundle packages for training teams and different things like that, and we'll make something work from there. The other type of training that I'm providing is isometric and kettlebell training. That's 1 to 2 times a week, depending on the program in my office. It's a 12-session gig, just like the speed and agility camp. It's 1 hour each in my office. It's any time of year, by appointment only, um, and it's $25 per session for the 12 sessions. Or if you want to try it just one time and see if you like it, $40 for a single session. Why invest? You need to maximize your potential, get stronger and faster, be better at your sport, prevent injury. The concept of prehab, pre-work rehabilitation. I believe that warm up is a lost art that's not used now to make people more athletic, and it needs to be. So that needs to be incorporated. You need to learn how to take care of yourself from a nutrition standpoint. A lot of athletes need to either gain weight or lose weight, and they do some ridiculous things to make that happen, and they end up getting unhealthy in the process. So you need to be able to have guidance on that. Learn how to lift weights properly, young athletes and epiphyseal growth plate injuries. I feel like this needs to be talked about since you're starting to train at a younger age. A lot of this is paraphrased out of my National Strength and Conditioning Association textbook. Misconception that young athletes can potentially stunt their growth. Lifting weights happens in training situations due to improper technique and lifting weights too heavy for the individual to handle. Most sports have a physical aspect to them even at a young age. You can make an argument that this is just as strenuous or more strenuous than lifting weights. Have your kids/athletes in the best situation to enjoy sports at any age and have the least risk of getting injured. Speed and agility training can be done at any age. You can modify the type of training to the developmental stage of the athlete. Kettlebell training can be done at 5th or 6th grade. Isometric coupled with kettlebell training, I personally don't let athletes train to at least 6th grade, maybe 7th. If they are playing football, they need to be doing some sort of resistance training of some sort, whether it's kettlebell or isometric training to prevent injury. This is always a judgment call made by the trainer and the parent/guardian of the athlete. Be more equipped to test out for college-bound athletes. Okay, so I've got some videos to show for resistance band training. So the first one, we're going to look at the platform here for vertical leaps. This is with arm swing. Then we're going to do it without the arm swing. I really like this because it's diagnostic. So if the knee starts caving in, you either do more glute and core stability things, and I'll show you how to fix that. So this is the fix for glute stability. If you go in more internal rotation, you'll activate your glute med more, which is more the pelvis stabilizer. Over here on your right-hand side, this is speed training with the bands, with partners. So we're going to start with in and outs, hopscotch, in and outs facing each other, hopscotch facing each other, side shuffle, power skip, and sprint out. Broad jump, back pedal. Then there's a bunch of different drills you can incorporate. This is the zigzag drill that we like to do at South Shelby. And they'll zigzag all the way down, then they'll back pedal at the end. But there's a million different ways that you can develop speed with these things. Here's more resistance band training. So on your left-hand side, it's going to be called a power out. So we're going to start out with back pedals. Go with side shuffles. Go the other way. Then sprint out. I really like this because at the start, it's like you're getting out of a 40-yard dash. Okay, and then I kind of wanted to show some of the core stability stuff you can do with the bands. To your right-hand side, I'm going to show different modifications of the pull-off press. So, pull-off press out on your chest, working your obliques. Good. High to low chop. So come out, trunk turn away, and tall kneeling. Go above your head. Go half kneeling. Trunk turn away. Over your head to get more QL. Switch. Okay, and I really like this one because this one kind of preps their core to do single leg lifts like a lunge or a split squat. Step out to make it home. Okay, on the isometric training. For those of you who have never heard of isometric training is basically a way to max out without getting hurt. And it's actually preventing you from getting hurt when you lift. And it's a time under tension lift. So you're lifting for whichever time you set. I usually do 10 to 15 seconds. And basically what you're doing is during that lift, you're recruiting more motor units and more muscle fibers and making yourself stronger and more stable in the process. This is not to replace actual barbell training and actual traditional lifting, but it's just used to enhance it. So there's a lot of good with it. So we're going to start on the left-hand side. So we're going to start with squat here. So on the squat, you're going to stabilize your foot, your knee, your hip, and this actual belt squat actually promotes distraction of the spine instead of axial compression, which traditional barbell squats do. I really like this because most of the research of isometric training is done at 120 degrees, but let's say you get stuck at the bottom of your squat a lot, right in the bucket as they call it. So we can put you at 90 degrees and get you stronger at that point. Toe raises, coming up on your toes. I really like this lift because it's in the middle of a deadlift and a hang clean. So we're going to go with the neutral spine. We're going to load our feet. We're going to use our glutes and we're going to pull up. Leg press. I believe that every other leg press after you use this is going to be considered worthless in your book now after the amount of work that you can get done in a short period of time. And you can do calf press on it. Okay, good. Okay, onto the right-hand side, we're going to start with our upper body lifts. So we're going to start with the bench press, like I said, at 120 degrees. A lot of people's sticking point in their bench press is about halfway. So what we can do is we can lower and change the angle and get them stronger at that sticking point. And a lot of athletes have pain while bench pressing. This is very, very good for them because they can actually get that stable lift and do a bench press without getting hurt and get stronger and more athletic in the process. Okay, triceps. I really like this one as well, the lat pull down. Obviously, you can change the angle, but a lot of people can't do pull-ups. And what you can do is you can pull down, and on the force plate, when it's on the TV, it's going to show you how hard you're pulling. So you can actually see at that point if you're able to lift the weight that you are. Bicep curls. And I really like this one. Anyone that has a shoulder problem, that has trouble stabilizing their shoulder, this is a really good one. Bent over row. So, like I said, actual isometric machine has a force plate in it and it has Bluetooth, and it'll project to the TV that I have in my office. And it'll actually tell you how hard you're pushing, how long you have to push it, and how long you have before you start the lift. And over here on the left-hand side, it's going to tell you, you can switch it to like 60% drop off. So if you want to lift until you're 40% or 60% below your peak, you can do that. Then on the right-hand side, it's going to tell you if you've gone up from your last performance to your current performance, so to see if you're getting stronger and to see if you're developing actual endurance or see where you're strongest in between. So like, let's say you can do a bench press for 5 seconds to start dropping off. You can start building endurance to get longer reps and do more reps. And the crazy thing is, what I see with a lot of athletes is that they actually do the isometric press and don't go up on their isometric presses and get close. Then they go up on their regular lifts in school when they're maxing out. And I believe it's because of actually just using all the muscle and forcing the body to use all those muscle fibers, you're forced to get stronger in the process. Okay, on the kettlebell training. So I like to use kettlebell training as a diagnostic tool over to your right-hand side. So we're going to look at the squat. Okay, the components of the squat, you need to hit a 90-degree angle. You need to be able to have ankle mobility, you need to have hip mobility, you need to have core stability, you able to activate your diaphragm, your pelvic floor, and you're able to have thoracic extension. Those are the big components of a squat, so that needs to be taught and drilled. Then what I usually tell all my clients on squat is to build the B's, the 3 B's. So you need to build first before you go down with the big toe and your intrinsic foot muscles. Grab the floor, go down, breathe in with your belly on the way down and build that intra-abdominal pressure and use your diaphragm and pelvic floor. Then use your glutes and your butt and fire up. Okay. On the kettlebell training on your left-hand side, traditional kettlebell swing. I really like this because you can develop a vertical leap. You can develop someone getting out of a football stance with explosion, different things like that. So this is a really athletic lift. Kettlebell spikes with the band, goblet squats. This is a very low back friendly squat, and I believe that you need to be able to do squats with a kettlebell before you do a barbell to see if you're able to use all the muscles that you need to use to squat. And squats with the kettlebell again. And if I see any deviation of the knee going in, what I'll do is I'll put a band around their knee and force them to use your glutes more at the bottom. I really like this lift. This lift will promote a vertical leap. It'll develop strength, and it can actually take away low back pain because it's developing mobility. So, called a Bulgarian split squat, and what you're doing is you're stabilizing the foot, the knee, the hip, using the core, pushing up. It's a very athletic lift. More challenging lift here is having them hang on both sides. A kettlebell deadlift. What I really like about this is that if I like what I see on the deadlift, if they have a neutral spine, engaging their core, I like to see her knees back just a little bit on the foot, have their foot fully loaded. If I like what I see there, I'll have them jump out of this and develop their vertical. It's a really good lift. Okay, final thoughts. So I was thinking about some short-term goals that I could help my clients with that are young athletes, and I called my alma mater. I'm like, okay, how athletic does someone need to be to play college sports? And he gave me some numbers and some averages of positions of football and basketball, a lot of baseball and softball. You do a lot of rotation stuff and different things that are more sports specific, but they're looking for athletes there, so these are still applicable. So with football here, you're going to look here and you're going to see that people need a lot of speed, a lot of speed. Then vertical leap and squat, bench, hang clean. Some of these numbers on squat and bench and hang clean are watered down because some people just got marks on their bench and squat, lowered it down. I know for a fact that some of these O linemen and D linemen were in the 650 range, and a lot of different things were watered down. This is men's and women's basketball. Um, Obviously, it takes a lot of athleticism to play college sports and basketball. So if you'd like to start any of my training that I'm offering, please email me at nemochiropractic@gmail.com. My phone number is 660-384-2066 if you want to contact me that way, or submit an appointment request stating that you want personal training at nemochiropractic.com. I hope you liked the presentation. If you have any questions, please let me know. God bless. bless.